Ice bringing his Magnus to the foray for the second time this series. They'll be able to secure themselves the bounty.
They know he has mana break, so they're putting as much pressure as possible.
They're going to go for the body blocks. The Ice coming in from the high ground, and then Nova does hold them back with the stun, but still Arme taking a lot of damage there from that rundown. He's trying to come back in and poke at jabs. Out towards Nova. Mineski really playing around with the next Nova. It's the 2-man stun, but Mineski will still be able to get the pull off.
Chalice as well, taking a heavy amount of pressure from that open wounds top. Both of them they're trying to pull waves. We've seen this every single game in this best of 5.
For the lanes.
Dual lanes, as expected. We've been having it majority of the time. The last one we did have that try for a while, but jabs putting a lot of pressure onto X-Nova here.
X-Nova does have the stun available. He feels the necessary need to use it. Well, for jabs. I'm out of mana.
The rotation now too. The Tusk is coming down. Jabs might get caught off guard because of this.
See if FY can find the shards. He'll go for it, and he's got it absolutely perfect from FY. The perfect angle, as there's no escape for jabs, and that's an anti-mage getting first blood. Arme with the thanks to give to FY.
They made sure to give it to the AM because he did miss a lot of last hits from going for that chase. He missed like 3, I believe, from the denies coming up from the mag from the creep pull wave. And yes, an AM game. You got to give him everything to accelerate his farm.
See how much pressure jabs and Ice can apply to him. Ice again with the skewer, looking to harass Arme as much as possible whilst he is still level 1. Without that blink available. Still that point in the mana break. That's all he's got, and he's dead. Jabs and Ice run him down and punish Arme.
Great play would come between the two of them. Having this Naga worked out so well for them in the last game. Just the pressure that they can put out with this hero in the laning phase in particular.
See how much Ice can get for the lane in response to Mushi Lifestealer, where it's going to be definite sort of kill potential for Mineski as they scale up their cores. Bottom lane, Arme getting the mana away from Ice.
X-Nova even goes for mana drain too. Make sure they can't get spammed down by this Riptide and from these skewer plays from Ice.
Ice.
Oh,
so a bit of a dream room for him there. All the way back up to full here for the mana. Top lane Chalice and FY. They look towards Boogie. Boogie immediately TPs himself over the tree line. No hesitation there, as he knows that who can get their hands on him. And a few punches will cause a lot of issues.
Both side lanes are accomplishing ideally what they want. Arme is getting shut down a bit more than Mushi, but he's got the kill. That first blood giving him a decent amount of gold. And mid lane is pretty much even. This is a boring mid lane.
Yeah, Somnos
there's going to be nuking lanes. Nuking lanes.
Jumps in to help out and pushing jabs away. Yeah, just with a little bit of the extra movement speed, will be able to get himself out to the distance. The mid lane unlikely to really swing favorably one way or the other until a rotation comes through from either of the sides.
Yeah. Both teams. I feel like I've seen this actually in all the games, right? They're just constantly pulling waves, even pulling to the neutrals.
Over?
He denied himself.
Okay.
So you see top, Chalice is trying to manipulate creep waves. Bottom, Jab's got the side pull off to deny some creeps from Arme. Pretty much been that and Dominator has been the story of this best of 5 for me.
Mate, just trying to take this big creep away from Jabs, but Jabs still coming with the Riptide, so that's fine.
Jabs getting trapped.
Getting these shards, allowing them to get a couple of punches in, but Jabs with those boots does have the movement speed to get in and out without too much of a threat. Top lane Boogie. Let the salve cancelled. Chalice gets to touch it. Puts the Mango and keeps the Firestorm. Plays down by the tower, forcing that lane and making sure that Mushi has the farm underneath the tower. But as we can see, Mushi dealing very well with the pressure.
Somnus in the mid lane is doing excellent versus Death Prophet right now. Has level 5, almost level like halfway to 6, and Moon's only level 4 at the moment because of these 8 denies. I also do believe that he saw the Tusk rotating in a bit, so Moon was a little afraid of the FY trying to commit for something because he is at risk of dying with those rotations on the Death Prophet.
Nova. With the stun, they jump forward, they're able to burn a bit of the mana. It's not enough though, because Ice still gets the skewer back under the tower. They look to dive in as FY snowballs forward, but Jabs is there with the TP. We'll be able to keep Ice safe.
is under attack.
Strong attempt there from LGD to try and burn the mana before he could skewer, but he just had enough. Ice. Okay. Quick backup and Shrine. Skeet will be able to top themselves back up to full. Chalice also playing a little bit away from the lane now, as that Lifestealer is getting that bit more scarier. With 2 points in the Feast and the Open Wounds. Don't ever want to step too close as an Underlord, especially when he's got backup.
Yeah, I mean, we see this from most Underlords. You just go to jungle when you've got that level 2 or level 3 Firestorm, and you can farm better, because in the top lane you're at risk of dying, and you're not really gonna get guaranteed last hits versus a Lifestealer when there's support there.
Movement coming in from LGD supports FY and Xnova, looking to set something up here for Somnus.
It's a 5-minute wave, so they've got the siege creep too.
Have to dive in for this, and Jabs is already around, backing up Moon in case any sort of play comes in like this, and the pings are coming through as well. I think
they're ready to go.
But they want to dive this. Moon keeping this up in a tower. They're going to go for it. Straight in under tier 1 with the shard, the stun, the burst. They've got it. LGD's in, and Jabs unable to do anything about that. He's already headed away from the mid lane.
It's all about these timely rotations. It's during those catapult waves you tend to see a lot of teams make the moves.
Not deny that from Somnus.
Jabs wanted it with the Riptide, but gets denied.
Not quite enough. But the farm continues from Mushi, but the same to be said for Arme, despite sort of those early few waves being contested quite well by Mineski. Now we see the point where Arme, he's getting pretty much free farm now in the AM.
Yeah, he blinks into Jabs, but they're not able to actually go for anything here.
Got 10 charges on his wand, Arme. Not feeling too scared at all. Somnus getting some pressure onto that tier 1. So Arme already bringing it down to about half health. The back of that kill that he was able to get thanks to FY and Xnova.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Trying to pressure in top. Location comes out from Chalice. Boogie still sitting right beside Mushi, just in case any sort of rotation comes through from LGD, and it is sort of starting to, as FY will head up towards the top lane.
Want to try to make sure to mirror the movements from the supports so they can defend their off-laner. Ninja Boogie's here. FY's here with the snowball, though, if he wants to go for a save.
See, they've got the root. Indeed, FY looking to turn things around. Somnus comes in with a TP, finds the stun onto Jabs.
And he gets glimpsed back to the mid lane. I think Somnus is actually pretty happy with that.
I think he absolutely is.
He gives a chat wheel.
He absolutely is.
The crowd likes that one. So now having this AM versus Magnus matchup bottom, they're able to move a lot around the map. And Mushi now getting pressured. He's got the Infesto on their creep.
And now he can maybe turn. The backup's there from Jab. They have the root, but instantly Chalice with the TP out, and FY able to walk himself away. LGD avoid Mineski being able to get a successful return kill.
They're doing a great job in this laning phase this time around. Having actual playmakers, because the last time around it was very hard for them to make plays. It was pretty much all dependent on Somnus' Tiny, but this time they have FY on the Tusk with a much easier scenario to make those rotations.
And they continue to farm. He's keeping the mana low of Ice, but not stopping Ice from being able to CS himself. So Ice getting good farm.
Yeah, he has 37 last hits. Yeah. He's pretty much neck and neck with Ame.
DA CP come in, FY. If they can make some sort of a play, they have Xnova coming in from the side, but look at this. With the helm, he scouts out the line. He knows it's there. But is it actually going to be enough information to get him out? The snowball will miss, as he is now trapped up by FY. Comes in, has the shards, Xnova with the stun. No escape for Ice. Mana Boy from Arme secures the kill. LGD getting a lot of movements and certainly setting this start of the game up to be quite a beginning for an anti-mage.
Yeah. And they have very good heroes to clear waves in this game, too. They have the Leshrac, they have Tusk, they have Underlord. They can keep these waves pushed out so that Ame can get this farm out. Even if they do get on the back foot a lot, they can clear those waves so that the pushes are averted.
I think there's quite an early movement from Mushi on this Lifestealer.
He's almost got the Armor done, but very early move. I guess they really want to give Disruptor level 6 so they can get kills on the anti-mage.
These shots, of course, from FY just playing around with Mushi, forces him to rage and back away.
Yeah, I actually think that's exactly why he wants to make the moves, because right now, they can't really threaten kills onto the anti-mage. Without any silences available, it's very difficult because they lack those actual real disables. So they need Ninja Boogie to get 6 for that Static Storm to get those setups onto Ame to slow down his farm.
Looking at all 6 cores in the game, as you can see on the individual net worth, all 6 of them within 1k of one another. Very close in terms of the farm that they're finding in the lanes. This rotation towards mid, though. FY finds the shards onto Jab stun. We'll miss here from Somnus, but it doesn't matter. The lightning's enough. LGD get themselves the 5th kill of the game. FY doing some fantastic moves here with the shards.
Yeah, you can feel that difference, that like they can actually make those moves this time. FY just constantly running around, has a haste rune out, doesn't load a moon.
They have to block him off. Be able to get the kill, but at the least, getting some punches into Moon, forcing Mineski to react. Got to be a little bit careful of the glimpse, but with the haste, he can get himself just out of range. Oh no, he actually walks back in.
He's got snowball, yeah.
Ah, nice.
It was a bait.
Nice.
It was a bait.
Nice little plays there from FY indeed. He says, glimpse me. And he gets out his balls.
Do they have 6 yet on Disruptor? Not just yet, so they still can't look for the plays onto Ame. He's about to have it, though, if the one more creep. He's actually walking up to get the experience from the catapult in mid. If he gets that level 6, he's got a smoke already, too, so they can make that move toward bottom to look for the AM.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
It gets pinged out by X-Nova. It seems like they know that they're going to make this move down.
Dyer's top
Boots on Mushi.
is under attack.
All right, they're going to go for top instead.
Structures are fortified.
Mushi.
A little scared about it. As soon as they sort of see Mushi show himself, they're worried that he's maybe got backup behind him.
As soon as they depart up top, they start making their way. They want this AM. They're going to get some deep wards down during it as well. But already, LGD, they're positioned for this to respond.
They really are. They're ready for the fight down here, LGD. In fact, they may be the ones to kick it off straight away. Look for Ice, but he gets the skewer out. Still, the rest of Mineski, they want to get in on this. They pop the Exorcism boots back onto Somnus. They've got him in the Static Storm, rooted up and surrounded. Somnus in trouble. More TP's coming through, but Somnus will fall. Chalice comes in, immediately looks to Dark Rift himself out, but the damage is too much from Mineski. They find 2 kills out of this and maybe even more. FY being chased down by the slow from Siphon. Moon looking to finish off another with the root from Jabs. They'll surely get it. That's 3 down. On the bottom lane as Mineski come in with the full movement. Despite LGD's best attempts to look to take the fight, they just can't.
That was strange by Chalice in particular there. He TP's down, instantly tries to Dark Rift away, but there's too much damage. You're porting into an Exorcism. Ice kind of with the bait play, but they kind of, you know, they knew that play was coming though. They even positioned themselves down bottom. They just still get caught off guard by Mineski.
This is a second tier 1 tower taken by Mineski, making these early pressure moves.
And they, with that movement as well, it's not just to get that tower. They get the deep wards down. They know that Ame, he's an AM. He's going to go for Battlefield. He's going to farm jungle. They're keeping tabs on him to look for those pickoffs. Mushi top. LGD, they're trying to strike back here.
They'll find the opening straight away. There's the Hex. They have already used the 1 stun. It looks like they don't need it. With a burst from the finger, they have enough.
Arcane Rune as well, so that'll come up a bit faster on the line.
Static Storm will be back there for Boogie in 5 seconds. See if they can do something. Jabs and Moon heading up towards the top to try and put a slowdown on this push from LGD. X-Nova's on the high ground. He's going to watch them coming in. Goes for the Hex onto 1, stun onto 2. Static Storm gets popped down onto Somnus, but he immediately TP's out of it, and there's no way to hold him back. LGD will get themselves out of there. In fact, they're looking to maybe make a play straight off the back of it as towards the bottom. FY comes in with a TP. Snowballs in onto Ice. The mana board and shards coming down. Almay jumps in. There's the root from Chalice. They hold down Ice and they take out the Magnus. LGD avoiding a play and making one themselves.
Great responsive plays coming out from LGD. I really liked X-Nova there, that positioning that he was in. He's like, I'm going to try to tank this gank. And he actually ends up stopping it. And now TP again, Ninja Boogie. Also with the net.
And when Mushi come in with a wraparound, this will be an easy one for Mineski. Pick up the line, but mid lane, Somnus. Pushing in.
This is the benefit of having that Lesh. Even though they have AM who can hit towers, Lesh has got Edict. And even more deep wards being placed from Mineski from those movements. LGD, they have vision of Ice porting in here.
And they go for this. Open up. Got the slow, the root. He can't screw himself out for now. The chain stuns. It's enough. Ice will fall. Can't get out the RP, and Chalice says, we're out of here, boys. This is a smash and grab and run away. But the sleep is not going to do anything. And they get themselves driven home by Chalice, despite him being asleep. It's dangerous, kids, don't do it. Get out of there, LGD.
That's back-to-back kills on Ice. Ame getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury. He's having a pretty good time keeping up with that farm.
Absolutely getting the space with these sort of movements from LGD.
And now Somnus able to get a tower now too with that edict. So able to claim themselves a little bit more map control and give this AM more and more pressure and more boosted gold for that Battle Fury.
They want to keep the plays going, Mineski. They need to. They have this lifestealer against the AM. They have to get Mushi involved. Sure, this game is a little different in the sense they have the empower, so Mushi can play the farm game to sort of some extent. But ideally, they want to get this lifestealer stuck in with this early armor pickup.
Chalice.
The wraparound.
They want to keep the Static Storm. They can kill him without it easily. They need the Static Storm in order to kill these other two big cores, either the Lash or that Anti-Mage.
Top lane, FY. We have the vision there on Ice backing up for that lane ward.
Oh, is he going to try
hiding around here?
He's going to try to snowball the Centaur in.
He was thinking about it. If Ice shows, but Ice is playing very careful himself.
They're not playing the farm.
The tower.
They're not playing the farm game on these heroes at all. They're like, AM can carry this game. We just need to make the space and keep the pressure on for him. FY. Starting to get chased out here with the Urn. Tries to shard himself down, but doesn't actually connect. TP.
And it's going to be cancelled. They've got the glimpse. Mineski have the catch. FY will be caught out by the patrol from Mineski. Playing Mushi. Find himself a double damage rune. In terms of people to really get him involved in the fights, though, it is really all on Ice getting that Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
As other than that, no real other way to sort of jump the Lifestealer into the center of it all. That Blink Dagger is there, of course. It is a very potent combo, especially if it's empowered. And you jump in, the RP infest, and then cleaving down the opponents.
Yeah, FY, once that Blink Dagger comes out on the mag, FY is going to need a Blink Dagger of his own to counteract that. It's going to be a lot based on these position plays for this Tusk to get those saves. And LGD, they've got to smoke. They're looking to stay on that aggressive. Keep the game active for Ame to farm. And they've got Ward Vision too of Moon. They saw that he's low on mana. Up in that top jungle. They want to try to catch something out of all this. And again, now Mineski, every single time they've got Static Storm available, they're looking to make a play as well.
See where they head, though. As LGD, for the most part, up towards the top. Mineski going to be able to read this.
They did see Ame with the ward they'd placed deep. So they could make a play toward the top lane. Well, Mushi, he could show himself bottom during this as well.
Ice is prioritizing farming this Blink Dagger mid rather than joining the team, though, so they will not have an RP for this. Here they go, Moon trying to kick things off with the exorcism, but straight away Nova responds with the Hex. The shards forcing Nova back to safety. Mineski trying to look towards Somnus, but Chalice, he's there with the Rift. He's taking them out, and they'll even bring out Jabs on the way out.
Oh, man.
The perfect play there ready for LGD after getting smoked upon. They get a kill, and they get everybody out of there.
And it's the exorcism from Mineski used too. They don't get anything out of it. And Ame just playing the full far game. He's chilling.
Got the full Yasha on his way out. I believe so.
These saves, these like the Rift plays have been phenomenal so far from Chalice. Except for the one bottom.
Sure. They are looking towards an illusion. I realize pretty quickly, and we'll see this replay again up top. This attempt quickly put to a stop, and Chalice, no hesitation really, as he looks to get his buddy Somnus out of there.
Yeah, it's such nice shards too by FY, protecting X-Nova. At least the Static Storm wasn't expended, so Mineski, they still could look to make an aggressive move with that available.
And really just for that big item timing is that Blink Dagger on Ice. He's very, very close to it.
Yeah.
That's what Mineski are certainly looking towards in terms of making a big play. And whether it be a huge RP in terms of catching off this sort of patrolling four-man of LGD or just a solo RP on the Anti-Mage, both are going to be huge plays that Mineski could potentially make. Yeah,
and they can, if they do get one of those big plays, they can look straight into Roche because they've got the Medallion, they've got Riptide and Empower.
Mid lane?
F1.
They want to play around with this here, they'll go for the Glimpse. He's got the Snowball. But it will be a snowball onto Mushi, so we'll drag him pretty deep here. He's got the range. Mushi instantly turns. FY tries to sharp block himself for safety, but he's not going to be able to do so. The Helmet Dom playing deep with the Centaur. They're going to be able to set up a second. Mineski get the two supports there of LGD. Now bring the game even to 9 for 9. Less than a 1K advantage at the moment for LGD. And we've seen this in multiple games this series, around the 20-minute mark.
Dead even.
And then it all kicks off in favor of one of the sides. The real question is, which way is it going to go this game? And this game definitely feels more like one with the potential to sort of swing back and forth, with the fact that you've got both of these cores that can effectively scale and farm up. Mushi with the cleave, Anti-Mage with the Battle Fury, and both teams with very good team fight potential.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Ame to make sure that he can carry this game.
Mineski going to be found out here as they are. Straight away jumps upon FY, finds Ninja Boogie. They've got the stun as well. Hex, but the sleep comes in. Jabs looking to put a stop to it. Ninja Boogie will still fall. Ice looking for the angle, looking for the setup, and he's got it. They've caught the two of them, but the shards actually from FY. They're forcing Mushi out the side, so he can't quite get the quick kill. LGD will turn. They'll take down a second. Somnus does still fall. FY rolls in onto the Death Prophet, but the exorcism's out from Moon as Mineski will find a third.
Ame silent stuff in the static storm right now too.
Can they finish off this kill? They're bringing in Mushi. There's the silence from Moon. They're chasing down Ame. This will be a huge kill for them to fight. Can they get it in time? They can't. Ame gets out.
Goodness.
The buff there from the Solar Crest. Chalice giving that extra bit of evasion to help Ame survive.
'Tis mine.
So both teams getting away with pickoffs there. You see buyback from either side support, but it's not over yet. Moon being chased by Xnova. The stun will not connect, so Moon will be able to get himself away. Huge amounts of damage there being done by both mid laners, Somnus and Moon, as you can see on the graphs. The overall change,
even exchange
it really
again.
is.
It's all about if they were able to get that AM. Ame now has the Manta style mixed up.
I really feel it could have gone a lot worse for the side of LGD if FY didn't get the shards. It really sort of disrupted the follow-up.
The shards were excellent. And Mid Ninja Boogie too, he tries to walk in, but he just gets killed by all that AoE damage.
Because you see this here, Ice, he gets the two of them, but these shards just block Mushi off. Mushi has to make the walk around it. It's the extra bit of time that allows Somnus to kick back, get the big spells out, and at least pick up those quick kills in return, so LGD have a chance of fighting back.
With some excellent teamwork.
And the fact they just couldn't get that Ame kill, that would have made everything amazing for Mineski if they could kill this anti-mage. But level 17 now, as we saw as well, the help given to him from Chalice with the Solar Crest, keeping Ame safe.
Yeah, now he's much harder to kill, because that Manta can remove the Death Prophet silence. Not Static Storm, but...
Radiant are scanning.
Scan from LGD will hit outside of the pit, so they are going to be under the suspicion that Ski are potentially in there.
LGD is smoked up though.
We do have RP back available for Ice. Smoke scan in return from Mineski. They know that LGD is sweeping across it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Who's going to get the jump onto who? Moon?
There's map reads by both sides.
Who's going to make the first commitment? Somnus will reveal himself. Gunning to come forward, they've got the route onto Moon. Somnus heading in, Ice is looking to hold from the sidelines. He's trying to find the perfect time to jump it already. They're moving in, they're bursting down the Death Prophet. Moon still alive though, Snort will attempt to chase him down. He'll get the 7. There's the RP! Ice gets it, catches the two of them. Mushi with the double, then picks up 3 Mineski. And Ame, he's been silenced, he's trying to turn. They've got the route. Can they kill him off again? Chalice looking to bring him back to safety. He will. Chalice takes back Ame. But Mineski getting these kills. Ice with the composure there to come in just when needed with the RP. They keep Moon alive and they take down 3 of LGD, and that was also Somnus dying just after he'd picked up that Bloodstone. So charges have been lost.
It almost looked like they were going to get the kill onto Moon there too, but with that hood pickup, just tanky enough versus the Slash Strike, even though FY gets the snowball to close the gap. And then Chalice again with these Uber plays.
And still Ame. This anti-mage beginning to tower over everyone else in the game. Exactly the position that he'd hoped to be in. And his team have absolutely set him up to be there.
Yeah. Moon now has a BKB though, so a lot more survivable versus that Lash, and also the Mana Void. The Mana Void can be a big thing in this game versus DP having that high mana pool. And Exorcism costing more and more. Mushi hitting it very hard though with this Death OS and Y while he's empowered.
And the game settling as
really You know, we mentioned it at the beginning, is like the battle of the SEA 5s, and X-Nova and Ninja Boogie both sitting at like 2K net worth in almost all these games, barely getting any items. It's all just about that warding game and who can have the superior advantage in vision. Neither team actually has a single obs ward on the map at the moment.
See Mineski there, maybe thinking about smoking up for Roche, but they'll turn and see if they can get an opportunity to find maybe a kill instead. There is that dominated creep within the pit, so
he actually dominates a new creep there.
But they
might actually catch LGD entirely off guard.
Just before they were going to be aware of it, and indeed they're not hiding over. Mineski are going to get this one for free.
Yeah, he took the siege creep top, so it lost the vision inside the pit. It did die incredibly fast too, though, so it might have been pretty hard for them to contest anyway.
Aegis now on Mushi's Lifestealer. Top lane, maybe seeing if they can get a catch here as Chalice and FY are hiding deep in the trees, keeping themselves away from Eyesight as he turns up to the lane, halfway towards BKB now on his Magnus. Arme on his build, very, very close to having the butterfly.
Gone for the blink cooldown now too, so a 3.5 second cooldown on blink.
That's top LGD. They managed to come out from the trees, look towards Eyesight, but TPs are coming in, and FY and Chalice can't quite finish off the kill.
He is not a squishy Magnus. That is a 2,000 health mag. At 15 strength talent, making him just that much stronger. Bottom of the
Mushi, he's out on his own. There's the Hex into the sun. Mushi's out of mana. He'll try and run himself away. He has got the armor. Can he really toggle himself to safety? He cannot. That's the Aegis gone.
Nice.
Somnus is going to look for the timing with the stun, but he can't quite find it. Mushi gets the chance to rage. In fact, Somnus just looks to the side. He's got the ult set up onto Eyesight. They're turning towards this Magnus. Eyesight trying to keep himself safe. There's the soul for Jabs. Moon to be brought into the fight. Do they want to take this? They do. They get the RP down onto this AM, but they can't quite kill him. The stun was there from FY. But they do. They still manage to pick him off. Scanning storm control onto Somnus. Ninja Boogie's there, forcing the Bloodstone denied to come out from the Lesh. Mineski take the team fight and are able to kill off Arme.
I think he had like, I want to say like 1.5 or 1 second left on the Manta from using it bottom to go for the kill. And that age is coming into play there for Mineski, being able to sneak that Roche.
Now Mineski, I can take a very easy tier 2 as they finish that tower off. And question is if they can try and push for more. There's no anti-mage for 45 seconds. And obviously with Arme going in with the items, he does not have any sort of buyback available. A high ground may not be quite pressured yet though as Mineski will simply look towards mid. Now let's take another tier 2.
They have Exorcism in 2 seconds though.
No RP or song though.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Mineski look to back off and relatively safe for now, as it seems with LGD's full lineup back up in 15 seconds. Now sporting a 3k lead, Mineski, off the back of that team fight.
That was huge. Whenever you're able to kill an AM in one of these anti-mage games, it really starts being a big snowball factor, because it's not just like you're getting a lot of gold from killing him, it's a lot of map presence removed from LGD. Mushi getting closer and closer toward an AC now on top of that Deso. Has level 20 for that evasion too. Gonna be harder to bring down. And Somnus dying like what, two times kind of back-to-back, losing majority of his Bloodstone charges, already down to 6. Been heavily slowed down by the moves of Mineski.
What an FY. Sort of playing around with him there. As he'll be quick to TP himself out of that. Get a bit of the attention of Mineski as they do now have their full lineup down bottom.
Trying to push those waves out so they don't let Mineski hit their base. Chalice constantly pushing in top. So FY, he goes right back down toward bottom to keep nuking those waves as well.
Size RP back online. Yeah, they look to make the play. Arme, Chalice, shoving this wave right up to the tier 3 tower.
He's going for Abyssal Blade next on Arme to make sure that he can actually lock down this Lifestealer and try to pop him before the Rage is able to get off. And to disable through that BK, through that Rage as well. Does feel like he might need a BKB afterwards, though.
Nice, nice as he goes, but there was a ward down here from LGD. Chalice move. Gonna rift down here. They're sweeping across. They do want to try and take this fight if Ice makes the jump, but Ice will a little wiser than that.
Mineski, they saw the rift play coming in though, so now they're gonna respond. They're bringing everybody down.
See what they can find. Mushi, he's out of Ice.
They now see X-Nova, and I believe they caught vision of Ame. The ward will be taken away. And now they want to use that vision that they have to try to look for a pickoff. They saw that Ame used the Manta as well with that ward, but he's too far away for them to get there. But they're making the straight line toward top. They're expecting him to make that move up there.
Ame certainly sort of looking towards that wave.
There's
Will he go out into it though? They'll reveal themselves, Mineski using the Crypt Swarm, so Ame. I don't know that Moon's here.
Looks like he's going to try to cut the wave here.
Things starting to settle down once again. Ame. Show. Abs. About trying to go for a setup with the song, potentially. Ame. Putting wave after wave.
This blink cooldown.
Minus 2.5 seconds.
Yeah,
able to keep jump everywhere.
Yeah, keep distancing himself. But Bastion now finished. And the gold lead has started to diminish again because of the space that they're making with that split push. The AM going one lane, other two heroes going another, and I believe the Underlord was also forcing a different one. So showing in 3 different lanes in essence.
TP in from Ice. So he'll look to try and put a stop to this push from Somnus and FY. Jumps in, has Mushi within him, but Somnus is out and so is FY.
They're trying to delay this game, get this anti-mage to that 6 slot level.
Certainly getting bigger and bigger Ame, but that warrior will always prevail with the AM in the sense that it is sort of that full protect one. Ame ever goes down, there is going to be the benefits for Mineski as they have effectively 2 very strong cores in response to the Ame anti-mage. Let's get the glimpse, in fact. The catch on him in the static still on that tripod, but Ame simply going to turn towards Jabs.
Moves here though with the silence.
He should be fine here because Somnus comes in with the stun. Silence is going to wear off, so Ame, he can blink himself away. Mineski just not with quite enough catch and response to deal with Ame. Whew.
As soon as they see the exorcism expended, you see LGD, they try to just ditch away from that fight. Maybe now they can reset and look for something here, but they expected all of Mineski to make the move up there after all that has happened. And again, we see the battle of the Roche Pit, the dominated creeps going at it.
No surprise here. The kill participation a little lower than average, but that net worth.
Yep.
10k above the average here from Ame.
The Abyssal is a very crucial timing as their anti-mage. Sure, he might want a BKB later on, but this gives him that kill threat on the majority of these heroes, because then he can actually lock somebody down, use that Manta to burn their mana, and get the Mana Void combo. So he's queued up a Refresher, and now an Octarine also finished up for Moon. Getting that level 20 also is making this Death Prophet quite a lot tankier. 2600 HP, even though he has 1880 mana. And Mushi now going for the MKB to counteract that butterfly of that anti-mage. And just the constant battle of map control, pushing lanes out, watching, keeping tabs on that Roche Pit, which will be respawning in about 55 seconds.
Keeping down bottom now, X-Nova. He will hold their own inside there at the jungle.
X-Nova saw that, you know, Ninja Boogie has a Glimmer Cape, so he's like, I really want a Glimmer Cape of my own, man. Got the cloak. He's got a cloak now. It's on his way.
Empower on the Wildwing Ripper there to help him out against Carty in this exciting 1v1 in the pit.
Dude, it's actually been happening for the last like 10 minutes, just constantly taking creeps and throwing them in there. Game has become quite a farm game. And LGD have closed the gap down to pretty much 0 on both net worth and experience.
Very, very close indeed so far. It's
game 5, right?
It's game 5.
No one, these teams want to take minimal risks.
Everything on the line here for these two teams who made it, of course, so impressively far here at DAC. Would hurt a lot to lose it all now.
Look at this on FY too. He's been starting to get a decent amount of farm. Has that 90 GPM talent too. Has the Yules, and the next item, the big one versus the Lifestealer.
Absolutely.
That disable versus it goes through the rage, able to just punt him out of the fights constantly.
You can get in sort of with the counter play after a good RP, jumping forward, a kick out, a protective snowball. So many ways that if FY can play at the top of his game, we'll be able to respond to any sort of jumping from ice.
Ame gets used on.
Can they catch him? Got the silence. Get the blink out, but they have the glimpse. Okay, to control him here, and they have got him.
And that's 90 seconds. He had finished the Abyssal Blade right before that kill. You're going to see LGD, they're just going to push out the side lanes as best as possible. Try not to let Mineski get anything out of this kill. But Mineski, they even held the RP there. They only had to commit the static stun.
And instantly Moon, he's looking for more. Somnus with the self-fuels, FY is there, but can FY really help out Somnus? The BKB's out for Moon, and with the exorcism, they want this kill. They're going to get it. The Dark Rift not available in time. To take Somnus back to safety will only be FY that's brought out back to base, but indeed this minute, a very, very scary minute for LGD.
Yep.
Losing the anti-mage, losing the Leshrac. Mineski getting the dream pickoffs, and now the Aegis.
A gift from the Tempest of
How much can Mineski achieve in this little window that they've managed to open up for themselves? Can they at least take a tier 3 tower?
It just doesn't feel like LGD can take these fights. They're just trying to delay and delay, but at one point you have to be able to take a fight in this game. And now versus Aegis and Cheese, they don't have their cores either. Mineski threatening that high ground.
Radiant structure.
Here comes the push with the Empower as well, punching through these towers. Fortification comes out for the time being. Very close to having the 2 cores back in the game, LGD. Mushi, he rages, he's up there, and he's found the tier 3 tower, opening up the base, and Mineski will play it safe. They back off.
They want those shrines. Their side lanes also are kind of being pushed in too. They got a lot out of that though. All the way back down to that 6k gold lead, 6k experience lead too.
It's only getting to this point where for Ame, you may have to sort of tone down the solo pushing out the lanes, as the catch from Mineski is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think eventually they really do have to try to take these fights. They can't just be playing like this, because they're going to get caught off eventually by this RP, which is just going to get worse and worse because there's going to be 2 RPs at one point.
They're looking to strike back. They've got their eyes on towards Mushi, jumping forward, but Mushi does get the rage out in time, and the rest of Mineski are coming forward to back him up. Ice. Oh, he's looking for the setup here. They've got the song on for free. Ice, getting a mystical off the BKB. They've got the control on Ame. He's stuck in the storm. He's getting rooted up as well. Can they finish up in time? The skewer, they're doing everything to control it, but Ame still alive. Can he get out? He can. Blinks away. Ame survives through it all thanks to the buff up from Chalice. Chalice coming in with the Crimson Guard of the Southern Crest, keeping his anti-mage alive. FY rolls across. They look towards Jabs. Jabs gonna get Jabs, gets himself away. Mushi chases down Chalice. Mineski, the fine one. But Ame survives. LGD looking to get the rest of them out of there, and they will.
Did he abyssal the illusion or the creep there, I think? Because they tried to make a jump onto Mushi, but they get completely pushed away and lose their Underlord.
Making sure that Ame is setting it. We'll see this again with the replay, Fog.
What is the Abyssal? I think Abyssal's the Naga illusion, right? So they snowball, he blinks, and yeah, the Abyssal on the Naga illusion. Yeah. He does have an Aegis and everything too, though. But I mean, he's lucky to get out from that. Like you said, he gets buffed up from both that Solar Crest as well as the Crimson Guard, just keeping him alive. It was looking very scary.
And that fight could have certainly got a whole lot messier, though. Just one hero dying amidst all the chaos.
8k gold lead now for Mineski, and the experience getting more and more in their favor.
Ame, of course, this game taking the Mana Void, reduced cooldown, Spell Shield. Not really too many sort of magical damage outputs coming really from Mineski's lineup. It's mainly the physical he's worried about. Having that extra Mana Void in a team fight certainly do a whole world of good, especially when you've got 2 ways of getting the mana out of Mineski with that line on your side.
It's very hard for them to take the fights, though, as we've been mentioning. They have to catch one of these big initiators before they can actually get those spells off. Getting that Abyssal Blade on, like, either the Disruptor on Magnus, just trying to kill them off before that fight starts. And it's getting scarier, like we're saying. We've seen Ninja Boogie now. He started to take priority and farm over the Naga.
Jump in.
getting close to an Aghanims on Disruptor.
So looking to FY, Chalice pops the Crimson Guard. Can FY get himself out of this? He's got the Snowball, looking to buy time for that blink to come off cooldown, but Chalice, he's going to be the one to get punished. Ice Sights gets him with a quick skewer. Again, Mineski finding the Underlord. Does have buyback available. If Mineski can try and force this out of him in this minute.
They've got an Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet as well, so with that Exorcism, they could look to threaten this high ground. Yep. They still got that Aegis. Forcing that buyback.
Straight away. Mushi, we're going to get some damage on with the Rage. There's the Exorcism. Moon looks to try and silence the backliners. Moon just standing his ground. Working on this melee racks. Can they finish it off with the Ghost? Quick blink back from Moon. Quite finished it as of yet, but the Rage is back up. Mushi comes in. He gets punched, but he's able to stand his ground and find the tab and the racks. The melee racks are gone. Mineski getting in, getting out, utilizing that time, forcing out that buyback, and now standing at a 9k lead. Getting the advantage. As LGD are struggling to bite back into these plays that Mineski are forcing.
They just can't get any, they can't make any plays, they can't get any return kills. The last time that LGD has actually gotten a kill was 20 minutes ago.
Oh.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
That is indeed a big slowdown in action from LGD. And
they just can't take the fights, right? You see Mineski, they're constantly moving around as a unit, and their heroes are pretty hard to pick off because of that.
Delame, he is that big old AM. If they can somehow enable him in the fights, he can go off. But as we see most of the time, it's just been sort of a panic from LGD as they try and get Arme out of the skirmishes.
Yeah, and it's really like him versus the world too at this point now. The Leshrac, Somnus gets killed very, very quickly versus all this physical damage that's coming out from Mineski. And carrying solo as an anti-mage versus these heroes, and now an Aghanims finished as well on the Disruptor. It's looking very, very difficult for LGD.
Pull out Bissell from Mushi. He's terrifying. I mean, as we've seen with the Empower, Mushi has done an excellent job of keeping up with Arme's farm.
Yeah.
He does have an Invis. Has to be careful. Not want to get caught out alone. He cannot afford to get caught out alone. It's getting to the point as well where we'll have to conserve that buyback gold.
I'm glad Ame did this. I've actually been kind of waiting for it. He had the Scotty queued up for a while, but now he's realizing he absolutely needs a BKB to actually be able to focus fire on any targets. Sure, there's going to be the net. That's going to be extremely annoying, but there's too many silencers. There's too much control coming out from the side of Mineski.
That's to just make sure that he gets it out before that Static Storm comes into play, as we've just pointed out. But yet to sort of invest in the BKB, he is holding onto his goal. Now he'll get it. That BKB does not have money for buyback. Still quite a bit short of it. But we'll have to play pretty careful because as we've seen, if Mineski can take a team fight, they can push with quite some power, having the Deso AC build on Mushi. Packs an incredible punch.
They're smoked. They see FY in the mid lane and Ame.
Ame's the big one. Jabs looking for the setup, goes for the song. Ame already blinking himself out of range. FY, the only one to get caught here, he's already used the blink, so there'll be no escape unless the Dark Breath. Oh, doesn't quite get close enough. Chalice!
And he committed for his full Aghanims too, so no buyback, 50 seconds.
Oh!
Or he's down for 50 seconds, sorry.
He didn't quite get in range.
Nope. That's not the catch. They ideally wanted the AM though with that. The sleep into Naga ulti, there's no way to get out of that. You can't get any of your spells off. Or your items off before that Disruptor Aghanims hits you. And now a DD rune has spawned bottom.
Oh.
Mineski with all this map control going to benefit a lot from these double runes, and also all their waves are pushing in.
Mushi now packing about 483 a punch. Is a life stealer. You don't want getting anywhere near your barracks. Mineski.
Gotta watch out. There's no sleep right now for 15 seconds, but that sleep into Static Storm is always going to be a threat. 10 seconds till those are up.
Here come the Ghosts. And the Rage. Fortification comes out from LGD. They have FY back up. How do they get stuck into the fight, though? They've got to somehow find a way of getting Arme in there. Back in they go. FY, he's got the kick. Kicks Mushi in pretty deep. Arme coming in for the back line. Drops the Abyssal Blade down. He's looking to take out the Naga Siren. Jab still alive for now. Looks to chip away the tree line, but FY with the stone wall. Fell over through. The RP. The Abyssal has won the holy artifact down, but it's not enough. The back goes through for Mushi, but still Arme. Able to blink himself. So do you get the kick? FY kicking up to the high ground. Mushi into the base. Looks toward Chalice. Chalice has to go center for the back. The damage is there from Moon with the Siphon. The Crypt Swap. They've taken down Chalice. He's got no back, but the buyback comes out from X-Stone. And Somnus, they look for the stun, but they've lost Arme. Arme down for 100 seconds without buyback available as Mineski ready to go all in. They're buying back on Ninja Boogie. They're ready to come in with the full push. Mineski, all 5 alive. FY again, looking for the kick into the Hex. They're trying to control up this Lifestealer, slow down the damage that Mushi can do to the barracks. FY into the snowball, but still, they're without 2 cores for at least a minute. LGD and Mineski know this. They'll clean up the bottom racks. They'll sweep across towards the top lane. Mineski ready to take everything. Maybe even the championship title. FY trying his best to slow the down, but he gets skewered back. The Yules is up. They'll surround him. FY will fall as well.
The song in the back too. They're looking for Somnus. They've got the Ags. They've got the Static
They've
Storm.
got to control Somnus. Is he going to be able to get himself out? The shard from FY who didn't manage to survive. It's not enough. Somnus will fall.
3 cores dead.
40 seconds until Arme's back in the game, and Mineski know they're going straight for the tier 4s. They're looking to close things up here at TAC. FY again with the kick. 30 seconds, no anti-mage. They just can't slow this down, LGD. Mineski, the Southeast Asian legends, they absolutely are. Mushi rips through LGD. The Ancient will fall.